I couldn't care less about the loss. Couldn't care less. I hope that they took a lesson from losing that we all want our kids to learn when things go down, which is be introspective, figure out how it happened. And in this case, they didn't have their eye on the ball. They had their eye on their woke activism, which has been this way for a while. But Megyn Rapinoe and her imprint on the team has now really made its mark. And I'm thrilled she's gone. I feel like there's a future now for this team potentially without this woman at the helm. But how do you see it as a guy who is immersed in sports for a living?
Thanks for having me on, Megan. Look, I was with my family in 2015 in Vancouver when the U.S. women's team beat Japan to win the World Cup. And in 2015, all of America loved these U.S. women. Most of them were relatively anonymous at that time. They were incredibly likable. They were completely without partisanship. And certainly they hadn't gone overboard with the woke agenda. And then, Megan, something crazy happened. Donald Trump got elected. And I feel like people need to remember this. Trump offered for the U.S. women when they won their title in France in 2019 to come to the White House and be celebrated, as is commonplace with champion sports teams. And the U.S. women turned their back on that offer. And from that point forward, they allowed, I think, the woke instincts of Megyn Rapinoe to direct every decision they made. They became polarizing. They became, frankly, quite unlikable. And ultimately, that led to, and I think this is important, the single worst performance by the U.S. Women's World Cup team ever. And yet Joe Biden puts out a tweet praising them, talking about how beloved they are and how proud of him, how proud of them he was. And to me, Megan, when you look at Rapinoe and the way that she shanked that penalty kick, it went to the far right, ironically. But her reaction, where she's smiling and kind of laughing, to me, it epitomized the way the U.S. women played this entire World Cup. They were awful.
Stand by on that. Stand by. Let's just show it. There she goes.
There it is.
Didn't come anywhere close. She puts her head down. It's a weird, I mean, I'll give her a pass on the smile. I mean, I'm sure she wasn't happy about it. I don't know what went on there, but her overall behavior is really the issue. Keep going.
Yeah, and what it ultimately came to represent is this team performed woefully, and they performed like a group of individuals. And unfortunately, I think that's what the culture was that was created in the space between 2015 when they won that first World Cup, 2019 when they repeated, and then this, again, they scored one goal, Megan, in the final 3 games that they played in the World Cup. They were atrocious. They did not live up to their individual talents. They were the overall favorite, expected to win for a 3rd straight year. And remember, they were very fortunate to even make the knockout stage. And so as a result, I saw it. I'm sure you did. The Outkick audience as a group said, we put up a poll. Are you rooting for the U.S. women? You have to be really unlikable for United States sports fans to decide that they aren't rooting for the United States to win. And yet that is what the Megyn Rapinoe-led U.S. women's soccer team managed to create. Now, to be fair, Megan, it's not everybody on the soccer team, right? There are a lot of people on the soccer team who disagree with
Okay,
Megyn
but let me
Rapinoe.
just say this. It's not everybody on the soccer team, but now we've watched them game after game. And at most, Clay, what I see is from the ones who are like phoning it in, maybe a couple put their hand over their heart. They're like, oh, Sam. There is not a one who is actually singing and who looks proud to be there. Not one. So get off. Get out of there. You know how many young girls would give anything to represent the United States of America on the world stage in this fashion and would be thrilled to say that they're American and they're representing our values. Screw these girls for not even phoning it in. Though even the ones who are like kind of trying are embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of them.
Yeah, look, and I think tying this in with the book, Megan, this is what Democrat politics leads to. I really do believe this because this is a belief. Why are the U.S. women behaving in this way? Because they don't believe in American exceptionalism, because they aren't proud of the country they live in, because they are buying into this left-wing ideal, which has taken root in the Democrat Party and I think has led us to a really awful place where there is a legitimate argument. And it's not a coincidence, especially with younger people in this country. They aren't proud of America. And that's because they're being taught that America's history is one of tragedy and not triumph, of exploitation and not of what I believe, and I think what most of your listeners will believe, the story of the greatest country that's ever been founded in the history of the world. If you are embarrassed by some of your country's history, which is what a lot of these kids are being taught, then you aren't that excited to represent
Then
the
don't
United
play for
States.
America. Then don't play for America.
Yeah.
Go find another team. Good, get out. We don't need you. It's fine. We certainly don't need Megyn Rapinoe. She was an embarrassment throughout these games.
Well, and by the way,
they put the final penalty kick in her hands, and we saw how that went. And to your point, here she is admitting. So Carly Lloyd spoke out. You saw this on Fox Sports, saying, "I don't know what this team stands for anymore." Essentially, that they used to stand for something. They used to play great soccer, and then right around 2020, it shifted, and that's when they got more about their wokeism and their sort of social values. Just play the damn soccer, all right? Shut the F up. Play the damn soccer, and maybe you could continue winning World Cups. No one gives a shit what your personal and political views are. No one cares. If we cared about that, we'd have you run for office. Go ahead, become, be Vivek Ramaswamy. Run for office as a private citizen. Get your name on the world stage and say what you believe. That's fine. On the soccer field, shut up. But here's Megyn Rapinoe talking about how she sees the whole loss and her place in it after the big L the other day, SOT 2.
I thought we played really well. I'm so happy for us that we went out like that, playing the way that we did. This is like a sick joke. For me personally, I'm just like, this is dark comedy. I missed a penalty.
But when you reflect on the impact you've made on this team, is there a memory that stands out to you right now in this moment?
Probably equal pay chance. I think this team is always fought for so much more, and that's been the most rewarding part for me, to know that we've used our really special talent to do something that's really changed the world forever. I think that means the most to me.
Okay. It's been an honor for her. She goes on about how this is the team has come to mean so much more, right? Like they've been focused on so much more than just winning World Cups, obviously. And it would be nice if we could just get back to the day and age where they focused on the sporting event.
Yeah. Look, this has been my argument for a long time, Megyn, that when you decide to share your political opinions, you become divisive, right? And that's fine if you're in the business of sharing your political opinions, like you or I might be, or like other people out there who are in media. But if you're in the business of trying to appeal to the entire country, you shouldn't do this. And look, Megyn Rapinoe also said that she was most proud of equal pay. And let me just talk about this for a sec, because I think it's important. I wish if the U.S. women wanted to be political, Megyn, they could have gotten on the global stage in 2019 and in 2023, and they could have said, look, we don't agree with everything that goes on in our country, just like every person on the planet doesn't agree with everything that goes on in their country. But you know what the lesson of the Women's World Cup is, Megyn? Overwhelmingly, you can almost pick the winner of every women's soccer match in the world just by ranking the countries on how much they allow women to have basic human rights. And this is the story that I think would have been really compelling for the U.S. women to share. Hey, the reason why we kick ass, the reason why we are dominant is, guess what? Because women can wear shorts in America and play soccer starting at 4 years old. Because women can go to soccer matches. Because women can drive cars. Because women have basic human rights, which can choose how many children they want to have. Women have basic human rights in America that do not exist anywhere in the rest of the world. And as a result, we are not only exceptional at soccer, we are exceptional when it comes to having talents everywhere. They could have used America as an example of a bright and shiny city on a hill that represents the full fruition, by and large, in the world of what women are able to accomplish. Instead, they denigrated America on the global stage. I think that's
and here's
why
what Rick Grinnell said. I thought he captured a piece of this very well. Rick Grinnell, of course, openly gay, first openly gay cabinet member under President Trump, who tweets out the following: Rapinoe made herself the face of women's soccer while pretending like America was a terrible place to live. She's left a wake of chaos and destruction for the women's team with her selfish antics. She's an out, green-haired lesbian who has made millions pitching Subway among other things, I add. She fails to understand that she would get imprisoned in 69 countries around the world for simply being gay, and 9 countries would kill her for being gay. America is the greatest country in the world for lesbians. She's been ungrateful for what she was given by God. President Trump goes on to say the shocking and totally unexpected loss by the U.S. women's soccer team to Sweden is fully emblematic of what's happening to our once great nation under crooked Joe Biden. Many of our players were openly hostile to America. No other country behaved in such a manner or even close. Woke equals failure. Nice shot, Megyn. The USA is going to hell. MAGA. If you are a business of one, you're probably killing yourself for everything you can earn. So when you're paying a CPA, a bookkeeper, payroll, and other admin services, every dollar out is so painful. Not only does your admin work cost an arm and a leg, it also takes you away from your own billable hours. There's got to be a better way. And guess what? There is. It's called Collective.com. Collective was built specifically for businesses of one that are making over $60,000 in profit each year. Collective handles all of the stuff that used to cost a pile of money for just a fraction of the cost. Plus, if you are set up as an LLC or just a sole proprietorship, Collective can elect your S-Corp status. Collective members save an average of $10,000 per year on taxes, and a Collective membership pays for itself within just a few months, not to mention it's 100% tax deductible. The price goes up on September 1st, so lock in your lower rate for a full year today and get an extra $100 off when you go to collective.com/Megyn right now. A team of experts to handle your business formation, accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and business taxes at a small fraction of the cost. Plus, save potentially thousands of dollars each year on taxes. That's collective.com/MEGYN. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.